Our main character's story begins in a classroom where he is sitting quietly, avoiding the meaningless chatter of his classmates. Suddenly, the door opens, and a man walks in with a haughty smile. His friends greet him, and a female student asks about his sales. The arrogant man thinks that should be obvious as he reveals his sales of 48 million won in just 1 month. The woman's food is delicious, and his friends hope that he is ready to celebrate. The man tells them that they will all go to Dune Perignon this time. His friends sounded excited, but he suddenly became serious and approached the main character. He banged Park's head on the table and thought he would explain it properly. Park kept banging his head and reminded him that he should buy next time or suffer. Park silently accepted everything and restrained himself. Those who saw him advised the arrogant bully to stop, lest he be punished. He reminded them that teachers are useless people. All he needed was a little bribe. He forgot about the consequences and continued to hurt our main character. Park gave him a teasing look, but the man didn't stop. There are people waiting and constantly harassing our young man. The abuser knows that he cannot go to the police because he is completely out of money. He continues to interfere with the main character. I can see the frustration on his face. Park will never forget what happened 2 years ago. It seems that a gang in high school suddenly rose to fame and caught the attention of the entire country. Their group is known as Nexus. He was the one who successfully fought against the gang leader, Chae-Young-soo Kim, by himself. Just when Park thought everything was over, his situation suddenly changed when the gang sacristan filed a case against him. He did not win in the face of fake but solid evidence, and in the end, he lost the case. His father had to make sacrifices at his precious gym just to pay the settlement. Park felt the worry and frustration. He vowed never to use his fists again. His father forgives him and encourages him not to take on the burden of the problem. He is deeply hurt, learning that he is worthless without money. As the main character is on his way home, 3 men recognize him as Hanjun Park, the man who started the trouble with the famous gang. One of them approached him. The bald, muscular man was showing off his ring at the Malachy Park in a shady alley. He started beating Park for no reason. The man called him a coward, but Park didn't rush in and didn't fight back. The muscular man couldn't believe that such a coward Park was still standing in front of the Nexus. He continued to push Park and even mentioned his father. Our child pretended to hold his foot and gave him a cold and scary look. The muscle-bound boy was confused, but Park immediately apologized and released him. The bullies trembled with fear, and one of them asked why his entire body had stopped moving. He couldn't believe it, but he admitted that it was just Park's look that made him feel that way. The muscle-bound man didn't accept the warning and picked up a piece of wood. He lost his patience and smashed the wood in Park's face. He just kept doing what he was doing until he was satisfied and left with his group after being satisfied. A mysterious man appeared and wondered what Park was up to. The man asked if Park was just afraid to pay the settlement. He believes that Park should not hold back after such torture. The mysterious man already knows that Park is completely broke, so he opens his bag and takes out a large amount of money. A pile of money, he calls it, enough to pay the lawyer. But he thinks it would be more fun if the main character himself is the one who breaks the weight and pays for the conversation later. He asks if 3 minutes is enough to finish the Tridors. Park hears him and wonders who he is. The mysterious man says that he only wants to ruin Chae-Young-soo Kim's life. He was ready to share more but ordered Park to prioritize the large audience. Baldy noticed the piles of money on the floor. He and his men approached Park again. The porter starts to move, but our young man attacks him with a blow that saps his strength. The crew is amazed as they see their leader in such a miserable state. With a wicked look, Park tells the mysterious man that he only needs 4 seconds. He approached the men, and finally, without holding back any longer, the thugs tried to defend themselves, but he immediately punched them with a few punches. He finished his revenge and believed they could now talk. They sat down in a different place in a tall building. The rich man was shocked to see that Park didn't know him. So he took out his cell phone and showed that he was Jun Woo-oh, the most famous young self-made businessman in the country. The man was boastful at first, but apologized and tried to control himself. He revealed what kind of life Chae-Young-soo Kim has now. She is the model of a good student who serves as an example to her classmates, the principal of the Korean game industry. Jun Woo-oh called it all upside down and felt the pinch. He reveals that Chae-Young-soo, who has a cruel past, is still working the alleys as a side gig, while the victim Park has become a fool and is now living a worthless life, like a beggar. Jun-woo is confident that he can do anything with money, but the reason he holds back is because he wants to ruin the crocodile's life in his own way, in a poor, low-class, and disgusting way. He wants to plunge Chae-Young-soo and his crew into total poverty. From now on, Jun-woo is ready to take care of all the expenses that the main character will need. from capturing the crocodile to trying to have an easier and more comfortable life. He is also ready to take over the gym business that Park's father lost. Jun-woo hopes that our young man will lend him his fists. This is his only desire. Targ asked why he is working hard with Choi Yun-soo. Jun-woo's expression suddenly changed. He believed that it was unnecessary, but Park believed that he would gradually learn everything. The next day, Park walked confidently to his class, knowing that there was no reason to worry about money anymore. He opened the door and heard the Nexus small fry threatening everyone again. Mogul orders all $300 to be spent again on his new line. Park and Jun-woo now have a common enemy. Jun-woo orders Park to first clean up the Nexus small fry in their school. Mogul decides to check the order history and reminds the students that he will not be gentle this time. His friends laugh and enjoy the moment while some students are worried. Park approaches Mogul and asks if money is everything in the world. He prepared his fists and confirmed that everything people wanted came from money. With one punch, Park destroyed Mogul, shocking everyone in the class. He had finally accepted that money was the backbone of the state. Mogul remembered that he was not afraid of anyone. He could defeat anyone, but one day he met the main character. When he saw Park moving, he realized that he was no match for someone of such skill. It's like Park is not human. He fights like a savage. But he got unlucky when he met Choi Yun-soo. He destroyed Park, took everything, and brought him to his knees. That's where Mogul learned how important money is. Money can make everything soulless. He started working on his online store and forced his classmates to buy his nonsense. When he became rich, Park was nothing more than a pet that had been fixed. Finally, Mogul reached the top of the system fed by his money. As he is being beaten up now, Mogul wonders why he is in pain now. He tries to defend himself, but he has no chance against Park, who continues to smash him. Mogul can't believe it, sinking into shame as he notices the entire class watching his humiliation. Park threw him out the door. Mogul was furious and tried to speak, but he noticed the look of fear on Park's face. He realized he was done for, so he just asked his friend for help. The fat man was also so afraid of the Park that he decided to just abandon everything. Mogul started to lose hope. He was taking evidential photos on his cell phone. Park reminds the man that he has nothing, but our boy doesn't listen to his words and continues to hurt his face. Finally, Mogul gets what he deserves as he starts to feel the intense pain. The man hopes that he will survive after this. Somehow he managed to open the door and tried to escape to at least save his life. The man restrained himself and tried to think rationally. Park followed his poor fellow with the intention of killing him. Mogul believes that he can't defeat a gym enthusiast. He remembers that he has the right person for this job. Mogul opens the gym door and starts to appeal to Seong to save his life. Park chases after him, which embarrasses poor Mogul, and he urges him to somehow crush Park and stop him. The gym enthusiast thinks about the proposition and asks for $2 million for the work. Mogul agrees to this because he has nowhere else to go. The barbell falls and Seong apologizes early because he needs money to prepare for college. Park understands that he is desperate, so he takes a piece of money from his pocket and advises the gym-loving man to avoid physical pain. He orders Seong to stay away from it, and the man obeys without hesitation. Mogul screamed in frustration, but Park grabbed the din. He was thrown out of the window by a scumbag. Mogul fell in front of a guru. The old man asked what was going on. He noticed that it was Park's doing, so the guru started to scold him. After class, the two of them were called to his office. The guru wouldn't let this pass. He reminded Park of what had happened 2 years ago and declared that he would not let Park be eliminated a second time. Mogul sat down bravely as the guru spoke about Park's poor father. The main character lost his patience and punched Mogul with a brutal punch. The guru got annoyed and tried to stop Park, but he continued to beat Mogul. Minyak also learned. A man entered the room and advised Park to stop. The guru asked who he was. The mysterious man introduced himself as Byung-Gwan Kim, a law partner at KR. The guru recognizes the man but wonders why he is here. At Juno's building, Park asks how he did it. He remembers that the principal started drooling over him after their conversation with the lawyer. The scumbag was immediately dismissed. Juno called it easy and believed the man had paid for his bad behavior. Park was curious about the principal. Juno said that taking care of the principal was just a game to her. The old man had been wandering around a lot for a long time, so Juno just used the evidence to silence him completely. Juno revealed that she was not finished with the principal yet. He was just using the old man to send the lawyer to the juvenile. After that, he planned to send the principal to jail as well. He was determined not to let anyone down. She stopped talking about herself and asked if Park was feeling a little better. The protagonist was still not satisfied. Juno understood that it was too early to receive gratitude from Park. He understood that he should be the one to thank Park. Juno showed her gratitude early. Mogul could no longer contain his frustration. He is determined to take revenge on Park and end his life. The next day, he starts walking and arrives at an imaginative destination. A man looks out the door and asks who it is. Mogul announced that he was here to check on the progress. The man called his arrival perfect and sent him out, sharing that Jin Song was here. Mogul noticed several men attacking the gym rat with baseball bats. The leader, Jin Song, invited him in. The gym addict noticed Mogul, and finally, he understood that he was the one behind all this. They silenced him and continued to beat him with baseball bats. The leader ordered his minions to take the dirty gym rats away because their client was here. Jin Song wondered why he had come personally this time. Mogul showed that he had another request. Jin Song called him a wretch and got angry. Mogul shared that he was willing to pay 10 million won for it. The yellow-haired servant was surprised. He advised his leader to accept the request and asked Mogul to explain further. Jin Song hit his servant on the head with a baseball bat and ordered him to be quiet. He believed that Mogul's goal this time was a big fish. The bad guy shared that he wanted to kill Hanjun Park. Jin Song gave him a cold look and ordered him to leave, as he wasn't that stupid to follow someone like Park for 10 million. Mogul showed that he was willing to pay 10 million up front, and once the job was done, he would give the other 10 million. Jin Song was pleased and accepted the deal. Juju entered a house surrounded by tall buildings, and a police officer was already on duty. She announced her arrival and apologized for not visiting often. He brings the fried chicken. He is confused and wonders why it is small. Junwoo suddenly remembers his father's fried chicken. He suddenly feels hungry and remembers the last time he ate his father's amazing fried chicken was 2 years ago. Junwoo's expression changes. He becomes angry and remembers all the events as if they happened just yesterday. He is silent for a few seconds, but then he asks to leave. He says that he won't be able to come anytime soon due to his busy schedule, as he is about to achieve his dream. Junwoo comes out of the house and sees his lawyer waiting for him. The man says that Mogul is on the move again, asks for instructions, but Junwoo reminds him that he doesn't want to play fair anymore. The lawyer smiles as he agrees to follow his boss's orders. In the evening, Park receives a call from a large gym. He accepts the offer and learns that the salary is very high. He asks her to come there the next day, and as the call ends, Park shouts with joy and shares the good news. He wonders why they are suddenly experiencing good luck and believes they might be pregnant. Park wakes up to go to the gym. His father tells him to come back early because they are about to eat. For the first time, Park noticed the genuine smile on his father's face. He felt happy, and as he was leaving his house, he received a call and learned that Mogul was cooking something. Junwoo explained that he had hired some runaway students, but that it wasn't a big issue to worry about. Junwoo advises him to only call if he is in danger, but the main character says that there is no need. Junwoo is confused, so he explains that the aspiring gangsters are already in their area. Park asks who they are. He notices a van approaching him quickly, ready to end his life. The main character immediately rushes towards it and tries to save himself. Park falls to the floor and suffers a head injury. The villains laughed at him, wondering if he was crazy. Jin Song was amazed, calling it a smart move, while noticing the main character getting back up. Park was furious and ready to end it all. The men grab their weapons and prepare to face him. Even though they haven't fought in years, Jin Song realizes that Park still has strength and speed. He believes that he can win because of the man's injury. People living in nearby apartments notice the noise and ask what it is. The situation turns around. The syndicate smiles and orders his men to get into the van. He hopes to see Park again and leave. Our hero won't let this happen. He rushes towards the van at full speed. The syndicates laugh at him and think he's crazy. But he proved them wrong by getting closer. The syndicates were scared. Park climbed into the van and broke the glass. He grabbed one of the men and ordered the van to leave. The others asked their boss if they should go back for their comrade, but Jin Sung ordered them to leave him alone, surprising everyone. The man who had fallen tried to get up. Park ordered him to tell them where they were going. The man just ignored him and didn't think about it seriously, so the hero slapped him in the face. He gave the poor man another chance, but he continued to say nothing. Park struck Masake with a punch. Inside that dark building, the syndicates were celebrating their victory. Their leader ordered them to restrain themselves and not get drunk. Mogul was silent, full of disappointment. He spoke up and called everyone useless. The man couldn't understand why they were celebrating. He is hopeful. They are making his money worthwhile. and they are wondering what to do if Park finds their current hideout. The leader understands what he is saying, but he is not confident that Park will come. He mentioned a Korean proverb about hunting a bear. The man broke the glass and reminded Mogul that they were hunting a tiger. There was no such thing as a tiger hunting knife. Jin Sang held Mogul's face and scared him with the broken glass. He didn't expect the names to be effective, but he remembered that in the past, their ancestors would bring out many pangs and dogs to hunt tigers. Tigers liked their space, but the dogs would keep harassing the tiger until it got tired and weak. Jin Sang plans to create the same tragedy for the protagonist. He believes that his men will break his silence and continue to torment him until he dies. Suddenly, someone rushes to the door. The whole group was scared when they saw the backing of the iron door. Jin Sang ordered his servant check. The man was annoyed, but as he looked outside, he saw Park standing there and full of killing intent. They were all surprised that he had found their hiding place so quickly, but their leader did not hesitate to find an alternative plan of action. He ordered them to stop because Park would not be able to get through the iron door. They all assumed that he would leave after a few minutes. The thought of the leader was that he might be scared, but his expression suddenly changed when he saw an arm outside the balcony. Park peeked in and broke the balcony window. The leader found it hard to believe because they were on the 3rd floor. Park wasted no time and began beating up the syndicates one by one. He alone could defeat the entire gang single-handedly. Park eliminated a few men and returned to teach the remaining syndicate a lesson.